Oh yeah, it ain't over, motherfuckers. These niggas don't understand. Every few years, niggas got to get they motherfucking caps peeled back.
August 2007, Christopher Dorner reported an officer, now a sergeant, Teresa Evans, for kicking a suspect in the chest and face. Unfortunately, after reporting it to supervisors and investigated by PSB, nothing was done. 10 months later, on June 25, 2008, he was relieved of duty by the LAPD. He went to a Board of Rights Department hearing for a decision for continued employment from October 2008 to January 2009. During this BOR hearing, a video was played for the BOR panel where the suspect stated that he was indeed kicked by Officer Evans. In addition to stating he was kicked, his father corroborated his claims. They still found Christopher Dorner guilty of making false allegations against the officer and terminated him. What they failed to mention was that the BOR panel was made up of 2 captains and a city attorney, one of which was a personal friend of the officer accused. That was a clear conflict of interest, and Christopher Dorner made an argument for his removal early, but was denied. The advocate for the LAPD BOR also had a conflict of interest, as she was a friend of Evans. Christopher Dorner made an argument for her removal as well. That was also denied. The internal affairs investigation in the academy involving Evans was spurned by a complaint that Christopher Dorner initiated toward 2 other fellow recruits. When assigned foot patrol in the Hollywood division, officers blank and blank, both LAPD officers, decided that they would voice their personal feelings about the black community. When Christopher Dorner overheard one of the officers using the word nigger, he requested that he not use that word. The officer replied, "I will say it when I want." Dorner then jumped from the front of the van to the back and began to squeeze the officer's neck. At that point, several other officers separated the 2. Dorner writes, "What I should have done was put a Winchester Ranger SXT 9mm 147 grain bullet in his skull and the skull of the other officer. The situation would have been resolved effective immediately." He goes on to write that the sad thing about this incident was that when the detective from Internal Affairs investigated this incident, there was only one other officer in the van that corroborated his story. The other 6 officers all stated they heard and saw nothing. Dorner goes on to write that the saddest part of this ordeal was that officers blank and blank were only given 22-day suspensions and are still LAPD officers. That day, the LAPD stated that this is acceptable for fellow officers to call black officers niggers to their faces and will receive a slap on the wrist. Even sadder is that during that 22-day suspension, blank and blank received LAPPL, which is Los Angeles Police Protective League, pay while they were suspended. When I took a 2-day suspension for an accidental discharge, I took my suspension and never applied for a league salary. It's called integrity. Sometimes humans feel a need to prove they are the dominant race of a species, and they inadvertently take kindness for weakness from another individual. You chose wrong. Terminating officers because they expose a culture of lying, racism, and excessive use of force will immediately change. PSB cannot police their own, and that has been proven. The blue line will forever be severed and a cultural change will be implanted. You have awoken a sleeping giant. I am here to change and make policy. The culture of LAPD versus the community and honest/good officers needs to change and will. I am here to correct and calibrate your moral compasses to true north. Those Caucasian officers who join South Bureau divisions with the sole intent to victimize minorities who are uneducated and unaware of criminal law, civil law, and civil rights. You prefer the South Bureau because of a use of force/deadly force is likely, and the individual you use UOF on will likely not report it. You are a high-value target. Those black officers in supervisory ranks and pay grades who stay in South Bureau even though you live in the Valley or OC for the sole intent of getting retribution towards subordinate Caucasian officers for the pain and hostile work environment their elders inflicted on you as probationers and novices. You are a high-value target. You perpetuated the cycle of racism in the department as well. You breed a new generation of bigoted Caucasian officers when you belittle them and treat them unfairly. Those Hispanic officers who victimize their own ethnicity because they are new immigrants to this country and are unaware of their civil rights. You call them wetbacks to their faces and demean them in front of fellow officers of different ethnicities so that you will receive some sort of acceptance from your colleagues. I'm not impressed. Most likely your parents or grandparents were immigrants at one time, but you have forgotten that. You are a high-value target. Those lesbian officers in supervising positions who go to work day in, day out with the sole intent of attempting to prove your misandrist authority to degrade male officers. You are a high-value target. Those Asian officers who stand by and observe everything I previously mentioned other officers participate in on a daily basis, but you say nothing, stand for nothing, and protect nothing. Why? Because of your usual saying, I don't like conflict. You are a high-value target as well. Those of you who go along to get along have no backbone and destroy the foundation of courage. You are the enablers of those who are guilty of misconduct. You are just as guilty as those who break the code of ethics and oath you swore. Your lack of ethics and conspiring to wrong a just individual are over. Suppressing the truth will lead to deadly consequences for you and your family. There will be an element of surprise where you work, live, eat, and sleep. I will utilize ISR at your home, workplace, and all locations in between. I will utilize OSINT to discover your residences, spouses' workplaces, and children's schools. I meant to coordinate and plan attacks on your fixed locations. It's amazing what's on NIPR. HUMENT will be utilized to collect personal schedules of targets. I never had the opportunity to have a family of my own. I'm terminating yours. BOR members, look your wives/husbands and surviving children directly in the face and tell them the truth as to why your children are dead. The tree of liberty must be refreshed from time to time with the blood of patriots and tyrants. This quote is not directed toward the U.S. government, which I fully support. This is toward the LAPD, who cannot monitor itself. The consent decree should not have been lifted, ever. I know your TTPs, techniques, tactics, and procedures. Any threat assessments you generate will be useless. This is simple. I know your TTPs and PPRs. I will mitigate any of your attempts at preservation. ORM is my friend. I will mitigate all risks, threats, and hazards. I assure you that incident command posts will be target-rich environments. KMA 367 license plate frames are great target indicators and make target selection even easier. I am a walking exigent circumstance with no off or reset button. I have the strength and benefits of being unpredictable, unconventional, and unforgiving. The violence of action will be high. I am the reason TAC alert was established. I will bring unconventional and asymmetrical warfare to those in LAPD uniform, whether on or off duty. ISR is my strength and your weakness. You will now live the life of the prey.
We begin with breaking news on KCAL 9 News at 10. A former LAPD cop is named the prime suspect in a brutal double murder. Cops say he gunned down an engaged couple for revenge, and tonight police warn he's armed, dangerous, and on the loose.
The incredible story has been breaking live on KCAL 9 all night long tonight, and we've had the very first word on all the major developments, and we have live in-depth coverage for you right now at 10 o'clock.
The suspect is Christopher Dorner. He was let go from the LAPD, and just before Sunday's murders, he reportedly posted a manifesto online. KCAL 9 was the first to obtain that manifesto tonight. In it, Dorner threatens to kill the children and families of many LAPD officers, including victim Monica Kwan. KCAL 9 Stacey Butler begins our coverage tonight from Irvine.
And Stacey, you were live on our air this evening when the Irvine police chief confirmed their suspected killer was in fact a former cop.
Sharon, that's right. In a stunning announcement tonight, the Irvine police chief revealed the surprising turn. A former cop is now at the center of this double murder investigation that has rocked the city of Irvine. Convinced they have their murder suspect, tonight, Irvine police called an emergency press conference.
We have strong cause to believe Dorner is armed and dangerous.
Now wanted for a double murder, Christopher Dorner was fired from the LAPD, and now police suspect he's on a rampage. Two of his victims, Monica Kwan and her fiancé, Keith Lawrence. The well-loved couple was found shot to death in their car parked inside the parking structure of their upscale Irvine apartment Sunday night. A possible motive? Revenge. According to a manifesto police say Dorner wrote and posted online, he was angry that he was fired from the LAPD for making false statements. Randy Kwan, Monica Kwan's father, was one of the officers who reviewed his case. In the manifesto, Dorner threatened the wives, husbands, and children of the officers involved in the review that led to his termination. Dorner wrote, "Never allow an LAPPL union attorney to be a retired LAPD captain," referring to Kwan. "He doesn't work for you, your interest, or your name. He works for the department, period."
Dorner's whereabouts are currently unknown to law enforcement, and we are asking for the public's help in finding him.
Outside agencies and individual officers on patrol, if you recognize my vehicle and confirm it is my vehicle through a DMV warrant check, it behooves you to respond to dispatch that your query was for information purposes only. If you proceed with a traffic stop or attempt to notify other officers of my location or for backup, you will not live to see the medal of valor you were hoping to receive for your actions. Think before you attempt to intervene. You will not survive. Your family will receive the medal of valor posthumously. It will gather dust on the fireplace mantel for years. Then one day it will go into a shoebox with other memories. Your mother will lose a son or a daughter. Your significant other will be left alone, but they will find someone else to fill your void in the future and make them just as happy. Your children, if you have them, will call someone else mommy or daddy. Don't be selfish. Your vest is only a level 2 or 3A. Think about it. No amount of I meant, MASINT, or ELINT assist you in capturing me. I am off the grid. You better use your feet, tongue, and every available DoD, non-DoD human agency contractor to find me. I know your route to and from home and your division. I know your significant other's routine, your children's best friends, and recess. I know your Sancha's gym hours and routine. I assure you that the casualty rate will be high. Because of that, no one will remember your name. You will merely be a DR number and that guy who was KIA/EOW or long-term IOD/light duty in the kit room. This is exactly why Station 500 was created. Unfortunately, orphanages will be making a comeback in the 21st century.
God damn, it's a new day. God damn. They just can't understand or fathom my demeanor. Unapproachable appearance to how I pack the Ninas. Out of 2 clips, they say malice demeanors got love for guns. And fuck on them niggas who hate, who wanna be in my shoes, live my life but can't carry my weight. I understand that the envy is part of the game, but make no mistake, you and I, we are not the same. Nah, bitch, I'm liable to splatter your shit. Light up your world till you start to stagger and shit. Watch how them hollow straight rattle your shit, and I'll leave it to y'all to freestyle and battle and shit. That's not me, I'm more at home with the chrome.